Former President Donald Trump is in New York. He's been kind of fighting with the judge in his case in the courtroom today about whether he can present his own closing arguments, whether this should have been delayed because his mother-in-law died. Well, he's coming out and speaking outside that courtroom, I believe. Can we pop it up to see if he's talking yet? Let's see. I think he's there. Let's listen.
They don't have any facts. They don't have any evidence against us. Millions and millions of pages, years of litigation, and all politically motivated. She campaigned on a "I will get Trump." If you've ever seen any of her clips, they're horrible clips, actually. The anger, she's got serious Trump derangement syndrome. There's no question about it. Letitia James, the corrupt Attorney General of New York. So we've proven our case. There's not one witness against us other than one person who is a deranged. He's got a lot of problems. He's a man who's been convicted of lying. He's a felon, convicted felon, and not a good person, but that's their only witness, and he's now crashed and burned. They have no witnesses. And by the way, that witness took back everything that he said. He took back everything he said in court, took it all back. So they have no case. It's a shame that a thing like this is able to happen. Businesses leave New York. She went after Exxon, and they decided to move to Texas, and hundreds of millions of dollars they pay in taxes. I paid over $300 million of taxes over the last number of years, $300 million, and they don't recognize that. They don't recognize anything. So think of it, not one witness, millions of pages of document, years of this nonsense, and now it goes on. And one other factor, we won this case already in the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals voted in favor of us, but this judge has been very, very slow to accept that opinion because that's not the opinion that he wants. But we won in the Court of Appeals. That's the boss of this judge. He has to know that. And it was a conclusive victory, statute of limitations and other things. And that case has already been won. So that's the story. And I thought we'd come down to 40 Wall Street, which is a great building, and you'd get a chance to see one of the nicest buildings in New York and a convenient place. And I don't have to pay any rent because we have it, and it's been a very successful building. But it's a shame to have gone through this for years and years and years. And now we'll see if we're going to get an honest verdict. We didn't have a jury. We had no rights to a jury. It's a statute that's never been used before for a purpose like this. I just watched a certain broadcast, and they said, you know, they've been looking, has it ever been used before? This is a statute that's a consumer fraud statute, never been used for anything like this before, and it's a shame. It's really it's a witch hunt in the truest sense of the word. It's election interference, and it just came out. This was just right now. Letitia James visited Joe Biden in the White House numerous times during the Trump witch hunt, and this just came out about 10 minutes ago. I got it. And so it's all a conspiracy to try and get Biden, who can't put two sentences together, trying to get him into office. So I just want to let you know that we have our best poll numbers, we have the best everything, despite this, and maybe because of this, because the people of the United States, all of those people back there, but the people of the United States really get it. They get it better than anybody else. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, do you agree with your lawyers what they said on Tuesday, that you should not be prosecuted or could not be prosecuted if you ordered SEAL Team 6 to kill a political opponent?
Well, you're talking about a totally different case, the immunity. I say this, on immunity, very simple. If a president of the United States does not have immunity, he'll be totally ineffective because he won't be able to do anything, because it will mean he'll be prosecuted, strongly prosecuted perhaps, as soon as he leaves office by the opposing party. So a president of the United States, I'm not talking just me, I'm talking any president has to have immunity. As an example, Biden could come out and you could get him on the border, you could get him on what happened in Afghanistan, a horrible, most embarrassing moment in the history of this country. You could get him on a lot of different things. You could get him taking cash from countries. You could get him on the prosecutor not prosecuting his son or the company or whoever it was, Burisma, in Ukraine. You could get him on that, where it was a quid pro quo, if you remember that. If they don't drop the prosecutor, we're not giving them $1 billion of U.S. funds. If you don't have immunity, you can You know, I mean, you won't be making any decisions, so you have to have it. And I liken it to the fact that police have to have their control back. They have to have respect. And you can always have a bad apple. You can always have something happen. But at the same time, you have to stop crime in this country. It's very much like that. It's very similar to that. But you have to have immunity for a president, and I think most people are seeing that. I've read a lot of legal reports lately and scholarly reports that are saying...
Hearing from former President Donald Trump there. This is in New York. He went to be in the courtroom in his New York civil fraud trial, which has been going on for months at this point. He's been sparring behind the scenes and now in public with his judge. First, his lawyers were doing it. Now he's been doing it. Today, the judge said, okay, give me a reason why you want to speak and do your own closing arguments. And he started going on the arguments that you just heard. Letitia James, Michael Cohen. He says banks are happy. They got repaid in this whole case. They didn't testify because they're happy. The judge, though, is not buying that. He does say, let me recap one more thing, that the Attorney General really here, that her aim, he says, is to shove him out. It's election and business interference. Of course, the AG says, no, this is pure fraud, and the judge has agreed with that. So right now, they're determining how much he's going to have to pay. By the way, a quick fact check. He said he had no right to a jury in this, that the statute never been used before. His lawyers could have asked for a jury. They decided to go with a bench trial, which means they let the judge decide this. So, again, they did not contest that. Answering also that three-judge federal panel when they asked his lawyers, could a president in full immunity order the SEAL Team 6 to kill a political rival? And they said yes. He could not be prosecuted unless he'd been impeached and convicted. Well, the president, he didn't answer that directly, but said presidents flat out need immunity. All right, that's the recap from New York right now.